Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the REDX podcast. I am so happy that you're here. My name is Haley Johnson. I will be the host today. We have a very special guest. You may have seen his face before. He's been on a couple times, Brendan Bartic. Welcome, Brendan.
Yeah, thanks, Haley. I'm really excited. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, of course. We love having you. You always bring a lot of great value. So I'm excited for this next half hour to talk about some really cool things. Actually, the topic today that me and Brendan just talked about that we're going to be diving into is the 3 strategies to double your income in 2022 without selling more houses. So, I mean, who doesn't want to hear about that, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a bold statement, right? But Haley, one of the things that as we finish out this year, everyone's trying to do is create their business plan for 2022.
Yeah.
And in creating that business plan, one of I coach agents across the country. I have a real estate team here in Denver that is a very successful team. And when we're talking about this, some people are setting their numbers and they're going, okay, if I want to make more money, I just have to sell more houses, right? Like this plus this equals this. And that is true, that will help. But what I want to talk about today is, as you're figuring out your 2022 business plan, is saying, okay, I want to sell X number of homes in 2022, or my team or my organization wants to sell X number of homes. Well, in completing that plan, you have to basically understand a few numbers. Number one number that I think people are completely missing is, first of all, how many appointments do you have to go on to close X amount of deals? And some people are going to be like, duh, I know that. But here's the one that I don't think a lot of people know. How many leads do I need for myself as an individual agent or per agent on my team for me to convert one appointment held? So, or how many leads do I need per myself or team for me to close one deal? So if you're looking at those ratios, you start saying, okay, I want to close, let's make it easy numbers, 10 deals. And again, I hope everyone wants to do it well more than that. Let's make it better. Everyone wants to close 100 deals, right? So you want to close 100 deals in 2022. Well, you would have to look at it, and the way to figure out an easy number is going, how many people or leads did I receive in 2021? And this is how I quantify it. We go into our CRM and go, how many people did each agent put into the system, right? How many did we put into the system? So whether you're using the REDX and you're doing expireds, or you're using the Geo tool and you're doing just sold calls, or you're doing whatever it is, after you made a contact or a relationship and you typed it into your system, how many of those did you put into your system for 2021 versus how many closed sales you had? So that's a very critical number to know, or how many appointments held you had. Either one would be extreme. You would want to, you want to know both, but either one of those would be helpful. So if in 2021 you did that ratio and said, okay, I did 50 deals and it took me every 25 people I put into the system, I closed one deal. And when I say put into the system, you can't just put them in the system and go, they're in there now. We call it, we put them on our nurture system. So meaning we have a 33 touch system. So it's 12 direct mailers, 12 digital market reports, 4 phone calls a year, and 5 personal touches. So that's when we really classify that they went into our system and we nurtured that relationship using our formula, if you will. So for our team, we looked at it, and for us right now, it's 31. And I'll just be very honest. And some people go, oh, that seems high. Or maybe some people will be like, that seems low. There's people in my organization that are doing, for every 5 they put in, they close a deal. And then I've got brand new agents that have never done anything in their life that maybe it took them 50, right? It might have took them 50 because they're going after anything, right? And so it takes more volume for that one deal to convert. So that's a very key, that's a KPI that you need to know, is number entered into my system or lead received versus deal closed. So if you don't know that number, use mine. For planning your 2022, just use 31. Then your next big challenge every single day, Haley, is going, okay, I have to figure out if I want to close 100 deals Well, simple numbers. If it takes me 31 leads per 100 deals, I'm going to need 3,100 or 31 leads per one deal. It's going to take me 3,100 leads to close 100 transactions. Now that might sound like a lot, right? But when you really break that down, and I'll define a lead here in a minute, right? So 31, yeah. So when we're looking at that, dividing that by 12, that's 258 leads a month. Divided by 4 weeks, that's 64 leads a week to close 100 transactions. Now, depending how many people are on your team, or if it's just you, you go, boy, 64 people a week. All right, divided by 5 days, I have to have 12 people a day for me to close 100 transactions. Now, to think about that, that might even sound like a lot, but I know that number to be pretty accurate in a non-nurturing database mode. Remember when I said some of my agents are doing as low as 5?
Yeah.
If all of your business is by referral, your number is going to be a lot lower than 31, right? A lot lower than 31. I'm saying because I have a large team, lots of leads coming in from different sources, and new agents versus experienced agents, that's my number. So I hope for everyone out there listening, that makes a big difference, right? So you should be able to figure out your number, right? And if you don't know your number, use mine to be safe, or use 25 and see what happens after 6 months. And you can go back and be like, hey, actually, I'm a 20, not a 25, or maybe I'm a 35. I just want to establish that because this is a big piece of the formula. Haley, all real estate is just a formula, right? And once you really understand that, it's a formula of how can I build deep relationships with amazing clients and do it in volume.
It's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships. And then it's all about structuring how to make people feel special in that relationship. You can't do that without a powerful system. Your CRM has to be set up correctly. REDX helps you with this quite a bit, and just formulating your follow-up and touch plan, right? We just got to, Haley, people always laugh, and I'm going to tell this, and people always laugh when I explain this. I go, look, all real estate is you're trying to get into relationships with people. So Haley, if I asked you, how do you get into, like, you just started dating someone, how do you make sure that relationship grows? What do you have to do with that person?
Put in the time and effort.
Put in the time. Okay, so when you put in the time, what are you doing? You're give me an example, like
going on dates, talking to them, giving them gifts,
shoot them a text, just say, hey, I was just thinking about you, smiley face emoji, right? Whatever, right? So why is it different with our clients? It's not, right? All you have one job as a real estate professional: make people feel special. If you really think about it, once you make people feel special, and you do this consistently, if I only made my wife feel special once a year and I just got her a birthday card, would I be married very long?
Yikes.
Probably not, right? So I have to have like 100 million touch program for my wife to make sure that every year we get to stay in this relationship, right? But with a real estate business, all I'm trying to do is have this touch program. And people laugh about it. I go, so you're trying to get into a relationship with someone, and then you're dating. Then you're trying to get to a real estate marriage, which is doing a transaction, right? So you're trying to get you're touching, you're getting to this. Then you get married, and then you get to have a transaction. And then you're just trying to have little referral babies just keep coming out forever and forever and forever. And I know. I just try to make it fun, but right, we call them, and people hate this even more, we call them money babies, right? You're just trying to have money babies just come out of this relationship with this person forever and ever. So it's a funny way to think about it, but it really is true, right? So if you know your numbers and you know how many relationships you need to have, well, first of all, you need to know how many leads you need to have so you can figure out how many relationships you can get into. Then the rest becomes pretty simple. Then it's just, okay, where am I going to get my leads from? And when I quantify a lead, leads are very simple. Either you're going to generate that lead yourself, right? So outbound prospecting. And we have our top 7 expireds for sell by owners, absentee owners, the NED list, notice of elective demand, meaning people that are 60, 90 days past due on their mortgage. then just listed, just sold, right? So when you're circle prospecting, hey, we just listed the house at 123 Elm Street, blah, 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 blah. Center of influence and past clients. So that's my top 7 that I think about every single day as I'm, going through my lead generation practices. And the reason they're in that order is because expireds are the number one most potent lead that you want, right? You want a seller lead. You don't want to be spending a lot of time focusing on buyer leads because you can't market a buyer. People always laugh. I say, Haley, if I was working with you, I can't make you wear a t-shirt that says the Bartic Group and walk around and be my, but I can put a sign in front of somebody's yard, right? And that's marketing. So there's a lot of benefits to listing-based system, right? You have to have a listing-based business and doing that. So 80% of my day, if not 90%, is focused on finding sellers that want to work with me, and then dealing with buyers and working with buyers to help facilitate purchasing those properties. Not dealing with, but getting the pleasure of working with them.
Yes.
So if we're really taking this understanding of lead, what is a lead? So that's a form of lead. You can either go get them, you can buy them, right? So if I go to XYZ website that sells real estate leads, I might be paying anywhere from $50 to $250 per lead, meaning they send me somebody that's looking to buy a house from XYZ website. Depending on what zip code, the price point in that zip code, how much demand there is for that lead, I'm going to pay a premium. So let's go back to our example here. If I said, okay, cool. If I knew I needed to get my lead cost at about $50 per lead, if I take 31 leads times $50, that means for every sale I close, it costs me $1,550. If my average commission in my area is $15,000, am I a happy guy?
Oh yeah, that return on investment is pretty good.
The challenge is getting it to $50 a lead, number one, and number two, we know that every lead isn't going to do something right then.
Right.
So I have to create a nurture program because the average buyer takes 550 days on average to convert. You'll have some that do it right now. You'll have some that take 3 years. Average conversion of an internet buyer lead, 550 days.
Wow. So
that's the reason that the follow-up has to be so good. And we have to be in that dating period.
Yeah.
So again, funny enough, just like relationships, some people get married in 2 weeks and you go, those people are crazy. And some people take 10 years to tie the knot, right? You just don't know. It depends on a lot of factors. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Haley.
I was just going to say, like, kind of going with this dating analogy, which I love, because it makes it pretty simple, but it's so, it relates so well because when you get into a relationship, it takes time and you're there for the long haul, right? Like, for a long-term relationship, you're there for a long time, always nurturing it. Yeah. You're not there for like, January 1st, I'm going to go really hard. And then the rest of the year, who cares? It's kind of just that consistent follow up. Like you're not gonna build a business if you're not in it for the long haul. You have to do those things because, like you said, 550 days. That's gonna take a minute to really build that system, right?
Exactly right. And it's just we'll stay on this dating thing because now we're in it, right? So it's just the same thing. If I'm going to bars every night and I'm just trying to find a lead source at just bars, am I going to maybe be finding the highest quality of lead? No, I need different lead sources. I might need to go to church. I might need to go to political things. I might need to go to charity events. At different events, I'm going to have different quality of leads that I'm going to have the ability to connect with. So that's a big piece. So now that we've kind of established, okay, either I can buy them, I can go get them myself. What you really want in a successful business, Haley, is I call it a third, a third, a third. So basically break it into thirds. A third of my leads I want to come from the internet, right? So I want from my internet processing systems. A third I want to come from my outbound lead generation. So 33 and then 33. And then the last 33 I want to come from my marketing, right? So marketing meaning, again, radio, TV ads, social media ads, all, any type of outbound marketing that's doing this. From doing this for the last 20 years, that's the right combination of every little piece. And you deal with work with a lot of great agents. Some of them are just heavy in one and they're not balanced in the three. Some are just like, I just hardcore prospect. Like, I'm going to go hit the phones every day the rest of my life, and that's all I do. And those people get burned out, right? Then you've got people that just spend a fortune on marketing. They're on every TV commercial doing all this, but they won't even pick up the phone to call somebody and talk to a lead, right? They got more leads than they know what to do with. So you want that balance. That balance is very, very critical in making this all work. So back to the title, one of the strategies, of course, well, this isn't one of the strategies. First, we need to know our numbers and understand our formula.
Yep.
And then commit to a formula. The next thing we have to do is get our formula visual, right? So we have to have a visual scoreboard so that we can see, is my formula working? So for us, we have visuals everywhere in our office. We have pictures of little mountain tops. So first quarter is one peak, a second peak, because we're here in Colorado, right? You've got 4 mountain peaks, right? So first quarter, if I know that I need to close X amount of houses on that first mountain peak, then I've got a little trail going up to it. That is how many leads I need to put into the system in that first quarter, right? That's a visual scoreboard. So every week we have a little mountain climber, and he's just climbing up this. Literally, it's a picture we took of a mountain climber and stuck him on a wall, and he's climbing up the board as we get closer and closer to that. So that's a visual scoreboard. That gets you able to see, am I doing this or not? And then when you see your little mountain climber still sitting at base camp and it's month 2, you got to get to work. You didn't do what you came to do. So you have to get it visual. And then number 3, you have to have a cadence of success. So you have to build a calendar around making sure that these things happen, right? So that you can actually make sure that you're getting there. That's the big piece. So your lead gen sessions, when are those? When do you do your marketing? I can tell everyone that's successful, I go, show me your calendar. Do you have a $50,000 a year calendar or $1 million a year calendar? And I can tell in 2 seconds. Most agents, they'll go, show me your calendar, and they take their phone and they put it in their pocket. They're like, oh, well, I meant to update it last week, but
Right.
I'm like, so you're just winging it. You're just out here just getting through the day. And that's what a lot of us, and I did the same thing as an early agent. I just tried to get through the day. And then the next day I was like, all right, I've got a couple of things I could do today. Which one should I pick? And that doesn't work. It works at a certain degree. But again, that's a $50,000 calendar, not $1 million calendar. So to our original conversation, now talking about, okay, now I know how many units I need. I know how many leads I need. I know how many people I need to put into my system and nurture them. Then the next strategy we're going to talk about is, how could you do this if you could just do the same but double your income? And the biggest revelation that you're going to have in this is going, I just need to make more money per closed deal. Okay. So we're going to talk about some strategies that you can take a deep dive. Now, I'm going to be teaching this strategy in person live in February down in Orlando, Florida. If you want to connect with me on that, just come to my Facebook page or whatever, and you can see that. But I'm going to give you a very 10-minute version of it, right? Hey, we got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to give you a 10-minute version that I think will hopefully get the wheels turning.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about are ways to increase how much you're able to charge by a couple of different strategies. So what I mean by that is your commission, right? The dirty word in real estate, commission. I love the word because it's what's made me and so many other people extremely wealthy and provided a lot of value for all our clients. But let's talk about strategy number 1, right? If I'm averaging in my market, let's say a 2% commission, meaning per side, not out of 6, but buy side or sell side. So some agents I know, when I say 2%, you go, oh, I always get 3%, or I always get 2.8, depending upon your market, if you're working with buyers. When I inspect this, Haley, it's not true, because a lot of times you're paying out a referral fee. So that also takes away from that commission, right? Another agent referred it to you. A lot of times you're doing rebates back to the client at closing, right? So you're going, I'll work with you, but I'm going to give you a piece back when we close. Or if you sell with me, I'll reduce my commission when you buy with me. Or, I mean, there's all of these different ways, and it just chips away at that commission. So let's just say that you're averaging right now, if you really were honest with yourself, and you can run this number. Here's the way, and I didn't realize people didn't realize this. If you want to figure out what your average commission is, take how much sales volume you did in 2021 divided by your GCI, your gross commission income. So how much volume did you sell? So let's say you sold 30 million in volume and you did 300,000 in GCI. Do those two numbers and you'll know exactly what your percentage is of GCI or commission, excuse me.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to increase that, first strategy that I want to explain is we want to go from, especially on the listing side, from offering 6% commission to 6, 7, 8. With 7 and 8 being the bigger packages. And all you want to do in this strategy is create value packages for level 7 and level 8. So if it's 6%, which we call our maximum net program, if you're offering your basic package, what could you offer at 7 and 8% that would bring value to the client? So at 7%, you could offer a cleaner, right? You have a cleaner that cleans the house. You offer a staging consultant. You offer a handyman up to a certain cost. So for every percent of commission, you got to look at this. In some markets, every percent of commission is $10,000. If you go from 6 to 7, it's a whole 10 grand.
Yeah.
Right? You go to 7 to 8, another 10 grand. So if I can provide $1,000 of service to make another $9,000, and the seller wants convenience. They want to go, yeah, I just want you. Some sellers are going to want the discount package. Some are going to want the medium package, and some want the platinum package. That's human nature. I'm a platinum package kind of guy. If you come in and go, look, I don't have to do anything, and you do everything, and I pay a little bit more, I'm like, high five, knock yourself out, because I'm out. I don't want to deal with it. I have plenty of friends though who are the I want every penny accounted for and want to do it the discount way. So you know this, and you're just going, that's why 6% is the lowest you ever go. So 6, 7, 8, depending upon what value we increase into that. That's the number one. That's the number one strategy. Number two strategy, and this one is going to be controversial, Haley.
Ooh.
Yeah, very controversial. As a listing agent, when you go to meet with the client, you don't offer a buyer side commission. Let me explain, right? Yeah. So you don't offer a buyer side commission. So I go to my seller and I go, look, my services are 3, 4, and 5% when I do A, B, C, or D. Now, in the market area, a lot of other agents offer an additional commission to attract buyers. You don't have to do this, Haley. You're more than welcome to if you want, but we don't have to by any means. So if I go out there and I meet with a seller, you're going to pay me 3%. I'm going to do all the marketing, put it into the system, do all of these things. And now I know some people are listening, they go, in my market, you're not allowed to do this. Yes, you are. I've checked with agents in every single state. There's a way to do this in every single state and structure it. But people get very upset with it. They go, well, aren't you screwing your buyer's agent, or aren't you making everybody mad that's out there trying to help a buyer? No, all I explain in my additional provisions in the listing on the MLS is just say, the seller has decided not to offer a buy side commission. When you submit your offer with your buyer, if you would like to submit your commission into your offer, you're more than welcome to, and it will be negotiated when the seller receives it. Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of hate comments on that one. I can tell. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what a lot of other agents are doing, right? I went and did the research. It's not, don't hate me. I'm just saying the problems that we're trying to solve there are, how can I get my commission in a market like this when the market's very hot and every seller thinks they can just put a sign up and sell their house, no problem, right? That's right. Another thing. Number two, how can I add more value so I can increase my commission, because it's a win-win for me and the seller? And number three, what are strategies that we're looking at that are going, this makes me different than my other competition? If you're sitting there you're calling expireds today, and you're making this pitch on the phone, you're going, look, here's what they go, how much do you charge for commission? You go, my standard commission is 6%. Another guy or gal behind you is calling and they're going, so what do you charge for commission? Yeah, my commission's 3% total. They're not lying. Right? They're not lying.
Yeah.
Who am I going to have come see my house? So that's what people are doing, is they're thinking about this from an outside looking in and going, how can I solve these problems? The problems I hear every day is commission is a problem. How do I leverage staffing? Because staffing has become an issue, right? Meaning, how much can I pay each person and all this? So how am I leveraging virtual assistants, doing all of these things? So we're trying to solve these problems, and people are getting creative, right? How do I get my offer accepted? How do I get these different things done? So one, add more value. Two, don't offer a buyer commission. And then the third was a recent technique that I heard at a mastermind that I thought was beautiful, and it's very simple. So Haley, when you're meeting with a seller and they go, you know what, look, we met with another person, they offered us 5% commission. Would you do it for 5%? And you look at the seller and you go, great, so 5%, okay. What's the difference from 5 to 6% based upon we agreed that you're going to sell the house for 500 grand. You type it into your calculator, you go, all right, that's about $5,600 is what we're talking about. That's the difference. Why don't we do this? Instead of listing your house for 500,000, why don't we just list it for 505, 600, and we both win.
Mm-hmm.
And Haley, when I heard that, and I've been doing this a long time,
yeah,
I go, and this was a great agent out of New Jersey, and if she's listening, kudos to you. But she goes, and I don't want to give her name out because she might also don't want credit for it. I don't know, but she goes, it works every single time, and meaning it works. She goes, the seller doesn't care; they just want to get their number, right? Who's going to decide what the value of that house is? The buyer. So all I'm doing is, and I know people are going to give me hate comments on that. They're going to go, well, you should list it at the right price that causes it to sell, or blah, 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 blah. You do you. I'm just trying to tell you how other agents are getting more commission, how they're literally getting full commission or more every single time, right? Even just watching agents get full commission, Haley, would change their business model. They probably have to sell 6 less houses a year if they just every time got what they were worth, and not just going, well, okay, you're right. You're my cousin. Let's do it for 5%. It's fine, right? As soon as you do that, you just lost 10 grand in 20 seconds, in 5 seconds. And people, so that's the aha I hope people hear on this episode, is just going, you can either work harder and do more, or work harder and be smarter and make a lot more.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I just think, you think about if people are just easily giving up 10 grand and if they're always like that, you just think about how much that compounds, right? Like thousands and thousands of dollars after you're just like, okay, well, I just need a client or I just need another deal. So let's just do this or whatever. We hear it all the time from people that call for sale by owners who are always just worried about price. That's why they did for sale by owner. They just want to get the most money out of their house.
Exactly.
And if you say this, like, okay, yeah, well, like the way that you said, raise the sales price a little bit. One, it doesn't, I think if you just give up and you're like, okay, yeah, 5%, that's fine. You kind of give this message of, oh yeah, I'm not worth 6% then. You're right. I'll just discount my services because I'm not that much value, or I don't bring that much.
And then Haley, when the offer comes in at $495, they go, well, why don't you shave off another 5 to make the deal work? Right? Or another percent, another 5 grand. If you think about it, almost however you're looking at it, on a $500,000 house, 3% commission is 15 grand. 3% commission, 15 grand, which means every 1% is $5,000. So every time you shave off a 0.5%, that's 2,500. A full percent is 5 grand. And as soon as they know you're going to give up a little bit, why not come back and ask for more?
Right.
That's all I want to. And here's the thing. Let's say that you have a team and you're selling 300 deals a year. If you're selling 300 transactions a year, the difference in $1,000 per deal, so whether you get 9 grand commission or 10 grand, is $300,000. Wouldn't you like to have $300,000 more by just getting what you're supposed to because of your value? Now, if you don't offer squat and you're a terrible agent and you don't do anything to help your sellers, then give up your commission all day long. You should, because you're not going to get much business, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going to give value and be awesome and do all these great things to help people get what they really want. And in this market, not only do they want to sell the house, they want to sell it for the highest amount possible. And you go, look, with my strategies and my systems, I can deliver on that. And here's some options on how we get there.
I love it. It's perfect. Number one, just go over this one more time. One, add more value. I love this one because if you give packages, at least what we've learned in marketing is a lot of people are just going to go for the middle one, right?
Yeah.
So
7%,
yeah,
7%, 6, 7, 8,
Which-
they're going to nail that 7.
exactly, which is better than 6%. And like you said, over time compounds. And number two, don't offer buyer side commission. Number three, just raise the sales price to account for that commission. I think.
Exactly. Yeah. And just the practicing that on role play, that script is just, you got to be really nailing it and just go, fine,
Yeah.
why don't we just do this? Boop, boop, boop. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Offer
can they say?
solutions.
Yeah. What can they say? They go, oh, what? Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. So yeah, I hope that helped, and just get your numbers right. And then think about not only how to sell more and smarter.
I love it. Work smarter. It's perfect. We do have some people saying, Kim says, I need to watch this again. Reagan's loving all these tips. This has been awesome. A really like jam-packed 30 minutes of how to really maximize your commissions and to make more money without working a whole lot harder, right? And having to do so much more. It's just adding more from the deals that you're already doing. That's it. I love it. Brendan, Thank you so much for taking the time to come on here. I do want to give you the last word for any other final advice. We're almost to 2022, which is kind of crazy. The year's gone by really fast. And so people are looking forward to hopefully hitting the ground running with some of these tips, and will have their best year in real estate is, of course, always the hope. That's why I love hosting this podcast, because people come on here wanting to become better and better their business and take tips that are going to help them. So why don't you give the last word and we'll sign off here.
Well, I always think about the Abraham Lincoln quote, right? If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. Haley, what people don't understand is you have to execute your strategy first, meaning sharpen your axe, get your plan really, really right, and then go attack, right? I see people out there attacking a tree with a baseball bat, right? They're just bouncing it off again. Take the next 2 weeks, every hour that you have that you're not doing business, in the business on, and create your 2022 strategy. Get your scoreboards, get your visuals, get your everything sharpened up. So when that little bell hits and goes, it's January 1st, you go, all I have to do is boom, 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 boom. And when I do that, I get X, 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 right? That's it. So just sharpen your axe. I see so many people out there just hitting that tree with a baseball bat over and over again. And I just go, just stop and put some thought into the front side first, then go execute.
I love it. That was perfect. Well, thank you so much for everyone that's watching. Thank you for tuning in and chatting in and everything. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can always sign up for updates of our podcast on theredx.com/podcast. If you want to get a hold of Brendan, where's the best place they can go?
Yeah, so thebarticgroup.com is our real estate website. If you're wanting to join our organization or anything like that. We also have a coaching company, which is Brendan Bartic Real Estate Coaching. So we have a private Facebook group where we have a ton of cool stuff that we release in there. So Brendan Bartic Real Estate Coaching, either of those would work, or just info@brendanbartic.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we will see everybody next Thursday.
Thanks.